Welcome back to the Suit and Scrubs podcast, where business meets bedside. I'm Dan Haggerty, the guy in the suit, joined by three of the best home health PTs out there, Brendan Kirby, Lisa Thompson, and Dan Catuccio. Before we dive in, check out careandmotion.co for tools, tips, and products for anyone in home health. And don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you listen to us. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit the bell so you never miss an episode. All right, let's dive in. This week's podcast is special to me. A year ago, when several of us were discussing the PT-OT-ST collaboration group on Facebook, the idea for Care in Motion was born. And in today's podcast, which happens to be our special 25th episode, everything comes full circle as we welcome Minda Butler, who launched this very Facebook group over 10 years ago. She's overseen its growth as a collaboration tool for nearly 20,000 clinicians across the country. We chat with Minda as she shares her journey as a home health speech therapist, why she launched the group, and what it's like to keep things positive and constructive when thousands of people come together on one platform. I'm excited how this one ends, too. You'll hear what Minda has planned next and how Care in Motion may play a role. Everybody doing all right, Lisa, Dan, Brendan?
Doing all right?
Yeah.
Minda.
Yeah, our special guest today is Minda Butler. Welcome, Minda.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Yes, and happy to have you here. So Minda started the Facebook group that I would be willing to bet that most of the folks listening to this have been a part of at some point or another. Mm-hmm. Do you want to tell us about the PT, OT, and ST collaboration group on Facebook?
Yeah, I'd love to. So I started this group about 12 years ago. And actually, when I was online, there was nothing just for speech therapists. So I actually started, and I did that. I don't know for a year or two, or maybe not even that long, but I did have another person I made moderator. Her name is Beth Doler, and she had the recommendation to open up the PT and OT. And I thought, wow, that's a great idea. So we opened it up to PT and OT, and it's been just growing and really awesome collaboration with everybody.
And that's the name of it. It's a collaboration. Yeah. It's fantastic. Yeah. So Beth is a OT, I assume?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. I was telling Minda before we had hopped on that really the inspiration for Care in Motion had started with that Facebook collaboration group. And I remember, Brendan, you and I used to go out all the time and be on that page and just looking back and forth and thinking, man, everybody's asking, a lot of questions that you would think going into home health, you would know, but there's just no place that you can get a lot of that information. So I think people turn to that group in order to, to seek that out. And we're like, maybe Care in Motion can assist and collaborate. So I think this is like coming full circle into what the original vision for Care in Motion was. So it's great to be able to bring that all together.
What's interesting is that we've had a lot of nurses want to be in this group. And I think I've even asked maybe in some polls a long time ago if we wanted nurses in the group, and everyone was pretty much like, no. Let's just stick.
Oh, interesting.
They have their own groups. Let's just stick with therapists.
It's funny you say that, because I think even some feedback that we got initially was like, with bringing on guests, it's like a full collaborative approach, right? So we've had, social workers to, PTAs, CODA, like you name it. We've tried to include everybody on this podcast because, working in home health, you have everybody across the spectrum, right? So, that whole collaboration part, people really want to see it. So we've been trying to provide that as best as we can here. So it's just interesting that you say it was kind of the opposite when you made a poll there. So
yeah, I think a lot of people wanted a safe space where they could talk and share their experiences and not necessarily complain, but not say things negative about nurses, but have a safe space where they could talk about things that nursing did.
Yeah.
Do you have a screening process, or are nurses a part of the group?
No. So there's 3 questions that you have to answer to get into the group. I try very hard to look at the profile to make sure they are a PT, OT, or speech. Mm-hmm. So most people who are nurses will say that they're nurses, and then I just decline them. I feel really bad. I've had a lot of CEOs of companies want to be in the group. I've had a lot of students. Sometimes I'll take students. I think the group had said that they didn't mind getting students. It's just, if your profile has something for PTO teen speech, or you're in a group that has PTO teen speech, I will approve you. But we actually get about 400 people asking to be in the group a month. And I wrote down the number. We actually decline more people than we approve.
Wow.
Trying to make it really, specific to therapists, and the group kind of runs itself. I know I'm in a lot of other groups, and there's a lot of people saying things that they shouldn't say, and there's a lot of times where people have to get banned or muted or thrown out of the group. And I think our group is pretty good when it comes to that stuff.
In general, it definitely seems more informational and just as a resource, as opposed to, obviously there's other groups where you would intentionally go there to, complain about your, something that happened or your agency or whatever. Obviously that wasn't the original intention of this for you.
Right. It was just a place where all the therapists could go talk about all their experiences, share with them, find resources out there. Like we had talked about, Dan, really just a place to vent safely and get some ideas. And it's actually, we have a lot of people talk about personal things too. I think I might've put something personal on there about my mom. She actually has Alzheimer's dementia, and she's in a memory care unit right now. And I had a home health PT come and do an assessment, and I stayed in the room and I watched this person do the assessment, and it was absolutely horrible. And I was completely shocked that this person did that while I was there. I didn't tell her who I was. I just, she knew I was her daughter, but she had my mom walk from the chair to the door, and that was her entire evaluation.
Oh, wow.
So I put in the group, hey, is this normal for a PT to come in and do that in this type of setting? And some people did say that was kind of normal, that some therapists just do the really, really basic. So it was good for me to have that out there and have a group out there that I could reach out to, because my own personal page, I don't really have as much as I do on this page. So it's good.
I guess you have to watch out though, because someone in the group could be like, hey, that was me. So maybe if we go back to the beginning, just tell us about, yourself, because as a speech therapist, so you obviously had gotten into home health, and I believe you're in Florida, correct?
Yes, Florida.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about being a speech therapist in home health, what that was like. And obviously it must have been missing something to start the group as far as resources go.
Yeah. I started working out in home health because when I was working in one SNF, they told me I would have full-time hours. And of course I went in and I only had like 2 hours a day, right? I had to go find my own caseload, and it was just really hard and challenging. So I needed some more money. So I reached out to a home health agency, got in that way, absolutely loved it. As a speech therapist, being in home health is just, I think, the best setting. You really get to know the patients, you get to know the families, you get to know them on a more intimate level. And I wanted to do home health full time, but in Florida, it's such a huge place and the counties are huge that actually there wasn't one company that was really hiring full time. They all were PRN speech therapists. I know even now it's really hard to find a speech therapist in a home health company, and a lot of them contract out. And I did work for a couple of contract companies as well, but there's usually not enough for a full-time caseload, so I could never really go full-time. But I worked for 5 companies for about 5 years, and every company is very different. And they have their own procedures and policies and everything. But that's basically, I was just like, I need some, you're out there alone, even though you have your experience, you're out there alone. So that's another reason why I started the group.
So do you notice that with what you were just speaking to, because I have colleagues obviously that are speech therapists, if they do work in the home health setting, do you feel like if they are full time, their territory is quite expansive compared to a PT or an OT? And I guess my second question to kind of go off that is, we talk about burnout and stuff on our podcast, and how do you guys prepare for that, or how do you manage something like that case? Everybody's different, but that sounds like it can be exhausting.
Yeah, those are good questions. So I'm at a place called Seminole County. It's close to Orlando. I've had the companies ask me to travel up to an hour and a half away from my home for one patient. They paid me $220 to go down to a place called Kissimmee. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's so much money. This is awesome. And after that one visit, I was like, okay, this is not worth it. Sitting in the car for 3 hours, you know, an hour and a half each way was just not worth the money for me. So it is hard because there's not a lot of dense population. Everyone's kind of spread out. As far as burnout is concerned, I've been doing this for since 1993. So I'm probably right there with you guys in the burnout. But my husband, because he would always tell me, you know, Minda, you're probably the brightest light in that person's day. Mm. And so for me, if I just think and turn it around and think positively, like I'm really making a difference in this person's life, and I'm probably maybe the only person that they see in the whole day, or only person who will sit and listen to them. So that kind of helps me in my mind.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I think you just spoke to the mindset shift and perspective that we take can really be what allows us to persevere and keep going. Is, you know, because we all have, I mean, we have crummy days. It happens actually often, right? You know, how often is it that everything goes as smoothly as you hope to on a Monday through Friday, right? You know,
every day for me.
Yeah, curveball after curveball. So I really love that you spoke to the fact that, you know, in order to kind of make this job sustainable, you really have to have a mindset shift and a bit of a check as far as not priorities. What was the word? Oh, perspective. Excuse me. So yeah, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, and humor. And you guys,
you got to have humor. You have to have humor.
I'd like to find the humor in everything, and you just have to roll with it and just think, okay, you know, God has me here for a reason. I'm here seeing this patient. I'm traveling this far. I'm seeing this patient for a specific reason, and, you know, just kind of shift your mind that way.
Damn, we were supposed to hit her with a face there.
Huh?
I'm just kidding.
Was I stuck?
No, I'm saying we were supposed to hit her there at that moment when she said humor.
So, well, I think that's the awesome part about social media. I mean, you know, we're all involved in some way, shape, or form. But I mean, especially in home health, where you feel like you're kind of like in your own little island, where like, you know, you might have a friend to text here and there, like, hey, how's your day going? But like, what's nice about social media, I mean, man, I love reading everyone's perspective and like, oh man, I needed that to lighten my day, or to, you know, brighten my day, or I needed that encouragement or that laughter, whatever, you know, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Humor can get you through a lot.
Heck yeah.
So after you started the group, were you surprised to see just how quickly, I assume it took off quickly, but, you know, tell me about that initial kind of journey after you began this.
Yeah, I was super surprised, and kind of like, I'd be like, oh, telling my husband, oh my gosh, I have, 200 people now in the group, or 300 people now in the group, or now I have 1,000. And he'd be like, okay. And I'm like, no, this is a really cool thing. Mm-hmm. And now to see, I think we're at almost 18,000.
Nice.
I think it really just blows my mind. It's just, but it really speaks to the fact that people need people. We are not meant to be alone. We need each other. We need to help each other. We just can't do this alone, especially in home health. Is
there one theme or most commonly asked question that you keep coming across in the collaboration group? Is there, I mean, I'm sure you're getting new PTs, new grads, new to home health, right? So obviously questions are going to be revisited or asked again. But is there one that really stands out to you?
Yes, scheduling.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Dan.
I think I know why.
Yeah,
because it's easy.
Can take it from there, but scheduling, people just have a hard time because that is such a challenge. And then what to do when your schedule gets all mixed up, and how to talk to people and how to tell them, hey, I have either 8 or 9 available, and how to present to the person and, work around all those Price is Right shows.
Well, now we can send them back to our podcast episode when we talk about scheduling, so we're good to go.
Yeah.
I think pay is often on there too. Like, how much do you make? What do you what do you think about salary, paid per visit? Like, what do all these numbers mean, right? Because a lot of people get these numbers, paid per visit, like, wow, that's, so much, but not realizing how much goes into each of those visits, right?
Absolutely. And Facebook rolled out that anonymous feature, which has been really helpful in this group.
Yeah.
So you can post and not tell people who you are. But yeah, that is another one, pay. Because there's so many companies in every single state, they pay totally different. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
What about like equipment or things? I mean, we have a shop associated with us that we try to give people things that are really resourceful that we feel that could be beneficial for the home or for the car. But is there anything that you see come across or people ask about this or that certain things?
Yeah, that does come across often. Probably not. I think it came across more often in the beginning of the group.
Mm-hmm.
So not so much lately, but I think with Amazon, people will just go on Amazon and purchase things, and then you can return it, so it's no problem there. But Dan was sharing with me that you guys have a website with a bunch of stuff, which I didn't know about, and I don't think many of my followers know about that. So this is something that we can definitely add into the group.
Yeah, fairly new within the past 3 months, or I don't know, Dan, you know better, but I mean, it hasn't been out for terribly long, but it's been a good showing. Yeah, I mean, trunk organizer, backpack, collapsible stool, all things that people could use to make their lives easier. I know that since I got my trunk organizer, the trunk of my car looks like $1 million compared to what it used to. It really
Mine
does.
too. It's all nice and neat. I have my trunk organizer, my backpack, and my AirX foam pad. Like, that's the only thing in my trunk, and it's all nice and pretty.
Yes.
I think the cool part, I was telling Minda beforehand, we had a national home health agency reach out to us and said, hey, we can get this approved in our own company shop, but it needs 2 lids and it's got to have a clean and a dirty side that's separated by the lids and the organizer. And so we're in the process of building that, and we will have those available within the next couple of months. So I'm excited that this may be, I'm sure that someone's already done it, that has the first products that were built specifically for you guys in home health, but this is our first one that we'll be releasing. And a lot of it's just reading some of the feedback and input that we see on a day-to-day basis out on the group and hear from people in the community. So I think it speaks to that role of how important a community is, especially with home health when you're on your own and you might not have that to begin with, right?
Yeah, and it's really great to see other people using it. I think Dan has made a couple of videos I remember now seeing on some of those products, especially with the trunk organizer. When you see another person using it in action, in real life forms, they are more likely to say, oh gosh, that looks amazing. I definitely want to get that. To have it in one place is really great. I don't think there's anything like that out there.
No, I think that's, like I said, that was the impetus for this, is like, okay, if we combine what Minda's doing over here with this stuff over here, it's like your go-to resource for home health, which might not exist. Have you going back to some of the different questions and stuff. So have you ever seen, I'm sure you have seen folks post stuff and you're like, whoa, that's the wrong answer. How do you handle that when a community is kind of self-policing and has
That's
to
an interesting
answer?
question. I don't think I intervene. I think the members respond appropriately and take care of it themselves, pretty much. So if someone responds inappropriately or says the wrong answer, someone else will come on and then respond and say, no, that's not right. This is what it needs to be. But I am watching. Admin is always watching. So
Speaking
I have
of that,
had to mute people and put people in timeout and ban them from the group. And it's really frustrating because we're all adults. We all just want to be here to collaborate. And then when you get that one person who's just, it seems like all they want to do is argue, they got to go.
One.
Huh?
There's always one.
Always. And then
like,
I'll watch that person for a while, or I'll put them on, I can do post approval. So if I can just watch what they have to say for a while. I just did that with one person just recently, and then it was good. And
I think I know who you're talking about. I haven't seen anything recently.
Oh,
No, Brendan, it's not you.
It's definitely not you.
How much time do you spend being like an admin for this group? Do you feel like at the start you were taking like hours of your day and you've kind of streamlined it?
Yeah, so I'm on it throughout the day because we get a lot of people who want to be in the group, and I try to be really timely about that. I don't like when I ask to be in a group and then 3 weeks later I get approved for the group. So I try to go on it multiple times a day. I'm not on it for like a long period of time, but I am on multiple times a day, unless there's an issue going on where there's a thread and I can see things are starting to go down the wrong way. Then I got to spend more time on it to kind of monitor the process. But I also have the ability to slow down comments and turn off comments. So if I see someone going down the wrong road, I'll do either one of those. So it's a lot, but it's a lot of little parts because, like I said, I think the group is pretty good. I think it runs itself pretty well. I should knock on wood somewhere.
Do you ever feel pressured, I guess, to keep the conversation going in the group, like to make sure that there are consistent posts? Or do you ever, I guess that's my main question. Do you ever feel pressured that you need to kind of keep the thing going? Like, this is your baby, right? You want to keep seeing it grow and everything else. Like, how do you personally feel about that? How do you deal with it as you're going about this?
That's a good question. I think maybe like a year or two ago, there was not a lot of people entering the group, and I was like, oh, I wonder what's going on. So I was kind of asking some questions, but they were not related to home health. So it would be like, hey, take a picture of where you are right now, or take a picture of your dog, because a lot of people love their animals. So just kind of to get people more engaged in the group. But as far as questions and stuff, no, we have so many posts a day. I don't even need to worry about that at this point.
Yeah,
the reason
Brendan always asks a two-part question. He stopped himself.
But I asked that because our last guest that was on, right? He's a content creator and stuff, and he was talking about the pressures of that. So I didn't know if it was similar to like content creation, because it is a social media platform as well. And I mean, I'm sure there's certain things or goals or achievements that you may have, and that's why I was just really curious about, if you personally like, darn, I really need to. And I guess to go off that, how do you take a break? Like, how do you take a step away, or have you ever personally been like, hey, to your other moderator, like, you got to take this, like, I need a minute?
No, honestly, I am very fortunate that the group is pretty self-sufficient. I don't feel like I have to take a break because, like I said, I'm in between my patients, or before I go to bed or before I eat lunch, I'll go on real quick and just approve people and kind of see what's going on. And Facebook does have another feature that you can put words that will flag any post with specific words that are a little bit more where you can see the things starting to go off the rails. So I do get a lot of those, but I run through them fairly quickly. And it's different than content creation, because I can imagine that Dan and Lisa, you're the one. It's just you in the group. You have to be the one dealing with the content all the time.
Yeah.
I don't have that issue as an admin of the group.
Yeah.
So what do you see as the future of the page as it continues to grow? So is it going to expand into anything else, or has it achieved everything that you had viewed? Has it fulfilled your vision?
Well, that's a good question, and we talked about that earlier. I think it has fulfilled the vision. It was really just for PTOT and speech to have a place to collaborate and a safe place to learn and grow. And there is something that I've been wanting to do probably for 5 years now. I have made a logo that encompasses the speech, PT, and OT group. And I actually went as far as getting a website and having the logo put on, a shirt and a hat and the tumbler and the whole thing. And I think it's amazing. And I just haven't quite taken the next step to have the merch out there, but it's coming. So, and it's really special. It really means a lot to me because it really signifies what this group is. And it has the name, PTOT Speech Collaboration Group on it. And I think it'd be really great for the group to have that, because I don't think there's anything else out there like that.
Something that's cross-discipline like that. I mean,
Yeah.
it really brings it all together. That's great.
Yeah.
Well,
You heard it here first.
I was going to
Yeah,
say,
you heard it first. It is coming. I'm going to do it this year.
Cool.
Breaking news.
we'll be your accountability partner. So
Yes.
how can Care in Motion help? You know, when you think about like all of this together, when you have what we're in the process of building with what you built, do you see any collaboration?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. When we were talking earlier, everything that you were saying, I think because we have a lot of people in the group, we can get the word out about your company. Because I don't think, like I said, a lot of people know what's going on, and they're just out there fumbling and buying things and trying things. And if they can see that there's a dedicated place to go to get all this information, I think it would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always thought, like, you know, of all the different, and it's not just about products, obviously, it's about resources and training and support and suggestions, but to formalize that so that between these two resources, it really is that hub. I was so surprised when the company that reached out to us about the trunk organizer, you know, was talking about all the different resources that we've got, because I always thought, well, Care Emotional will be great for folks that work at smaller home health agencies, but national companies, they've got their stuff together. They don't need this. But then you start to dig in a little bit and you realize that everybody is every day reinventing the wheel, you know?
Oh, yeah, 100%. And so when the group finds something that they really love, they'll go on and say, hey, I found this awesome thing on Amazon. This is really great. And then it goes from there. So to have everything central would be really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So you're gonna come back just to exclusively tell us when you're dropping your merch, right?
I was just gonna say that. I was like, it's been an absolute joy to be able to meet the creator of one of our inspirations, and we have to make sure that this new logo and brand gets launched this year. And I would love it if you if we had played a role in announcing that.
Yeah, I would love that, because I've thought about ways to get it out there and how to promote it, and I think we found it. I think this is going to be really good. Yeah.
Cool.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck as you get this thing going, and when we see the next vision come to fruition.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. It was so nice to meet you.
You
Put
too.
the face behind the group.
Yeah, because I see your faces all the time. I don't really put my face out there.
It's kind of like the Wizard of Oz feeling I have right now. It's like, hey, like, who is that talking right now? Oh, there's Oz.
I hope I lived up to all of your expectations.
It's the woman that muted me for 3 weeks.